Arena Breakout Infinite is out and it is horribly pay to win. In this quick video, I'll show you everything you need to know about the pay to win systems in this game and what mobile gaming looks like when it's brought to PC. Arena Breakout Infinite is the PC port or PC remake of Arena Breakout, a popular mobile tactical extraction shooter. This is on PC and is competing with games like Tarkov and in some ways in another, Hunt Showdown and things like that. In this video, I'll be making a lot of comparisons to Escape from Tarkov as that's the closest thing that we have, but the pay to win here is just, it's crazy. In this video, I'll explain the basics of extraction shooters and show you just how bad things get. Let's quickly start at the very top. An extraction shooter is a game where you get a bunch of gear on your character, you go into a raid, you fight other characters, NPCs, loot them, and of course loot the ground, boxes, crates, rooms, etc., and you extract with extra value. You can take all of these extra items and sell them on the player market for in-game cash. The in-game cash in this game is coins. I currently have 3.3 million, and just by playing the game, you can comfortably earn 50 to 150 through every extraction that you have in-game. That's great and all, and it keeps the in-game economy going. But the pay-to-win system is probably soon going to break the in-game economy for free players, and something needs to be done. I really did enjoy this game when it was in the closed beta stage, but now that it's out, the pay-to-win mechanics are fully added, and it's practically the same as the mobile version of this game, where there's a couple of whales giving this game a huge amount of money supporting it, and well, the same thing is going to happen here, but probably just on a different scale, or at least a different platform, I guess. This in-game currency is cool and all to collect. You can sell different items on the market, and with anything from 5,000 to 500,000, you can get Class 1 armor all the way up to Class 6 armor, the highest in the game. This over here can stop pretty much any bullet that comes your way, except for maybe Class 4 through 6, that all have different levels of penetration. Anything less than that will probably be ricocheted off and do nothing to you. This helmet, for example, is 500,000. The accompanying body armor is also 500,000, or you could get an armored rig, which also includes pockets in it for 500,000, a large backpack for 100,000, etc., putting your in-game kits at around 1 million to 1.5 million in value. And of course, if you want to take it even further, you can get yourself some thermals for thermal vision at 2.2 million, or thermal vision on a scope for 1 million. You could easily spend 1 million or 2 million in-game cash for an end-game setup. Obviously, most people aren't going to be roaming with this kind of thing. They'll mostly be running with the mid-tier items, running kits of around 100 to 200,000, or maybe 300,000 if you want to go Class 5. That's cool and all, and you can earn this in-game cash relatively easily. You can kill heavily armored players and take their stuff, sell it for some good cash, and of course, no matter how heavily armored you are, your legs are always a place that people can hit. With a fast enough firing gun, they can take you down pretty quickly. The same goes for your arms as well, or a really well-placed headshot, for example. All of that crazy armor can be easily defeated with a 30 to 40,000 coin, which is the in-game currency. Mosin Nagant rocking some of the most expensive ammo in the game, SNB, level 6 penetrating for around 3,000 coin per unit, and it can take down people in one really good place shot or 2 to 3 chest, etc. You can get rid of players relatively easily as long as you bring the right kind of ammunition in this game, and that's that. So when we're discussing pay to win in this game, it's a little bit different to buying an overpowered skin that gives you crazy perks that stays with you forever. Even if you pay to get some really good items in this game, you can still be taken down relatively easily, and those items go into the player market, etc., and it could disrupt some things there, but we'll get there in just a moment. For now though, now that you know the value of in-game items, what are the different currencies? We have coin, which is the play to earn and spend on different items in game currency, coins, which aren't yet added to the game but allow you to purchase money, and bonds, which can be used to purchase money and a couple of other things. These bonds can be purchased for real-life money. Mine's in South African rands. 1,000 bonds is going to be around $10, 2,500 around 20, 5,000 around $50, and 10,000 around $100. So you could be spending quite a bit of cash on this game. If you want a whole bunch of in-game currency, This in-game currency can be used to purchase, if we check the store, a couple of different things. First of all, cases. Second, different privileges, we'll get there in a moment, and bundles over here, which are bundles of in-game cash pretty much directly for real-life cash. We can only purchase these bond versions over here, and the rest of these coin ones are currently locked away, and we don't yet understand just how expensive coins will be, so we can't do a in-game to real-life money transaction. If we were to purchase money in this game, we could spend 50 American cents for 50 bonds and get ourselves 150,000 in-game coin. We can do this once a day, and we can spend $1 for 200,000, bringing us to 350,000 coin every day that you can get just by spending $1.50 when you log in. Every season we can purchase for 50 cents another pack that gives us 250,000 coin, although this is once a season. With all of these put together for just $2, you can get yourself 600,000 coin in the game and spend that on likely a couple of mid-tier sets of armor, things like that, or maybe even just some keys to get you into high-value loot areas on different maps. Some of these are super expensive. That's sort of where the pay-to-win is and where it's kind of an issue, but the worst hasn't even started yet. This sounds okay, you can spend $2 a day or $1.50, who cares? It's not really going to make an impact. Well, the issue comes with these coins. Again, we don't yet know the conversion amount, but every month you can purchase for 300 coins 600,000 coin, and you can spend every week 300 coins to get 450,000 coin, up to 10 times a week 900,000 coin for just 600 coins, and up to 5 times a week 2.5 million coin for just 2,000 coins. Again, we don't know how much this will be, but if you have a bunch of money to spend on an in-game currency, then this is what you're going to be buying. Seeming though you can purchase up to, well, let's see, 12.5 or so million coin in-game every week, you can get yourself some really high-tier armor, guns, etc., and just demolish everyone you come across on the battlefield. If you're getting a million coin setups and going into raids, you could do 10 of those if you happen to spend a huge amount of money on the game, but again, you could just be sprayed in the legs and, well, there goes all of your gear that you spend real life money on. That doesn't sound too bad because you can take down these whales that spend a huge amount of money on in-game items, but the issue comes when we speak about the in-game market. Sure, you can collect things and sell them on the in-game market for in-game cash, but there's also a couple of places that we can generate items besides just finding them on maps. In the contact section over here, we have different traders that we can buy things from for in-game cash. Weapons and things like that are great, and from some of the later ones we can get better weapons, better attachments, and things like that, and we can use these on the battlefield. Once you purchase them here, you can't sell them directly on the market, and you can usually purchase 1 or 2 every day, or every few hours, such as with the case of Deke over here, who refreshes every 6 hours, I think. You get a bunch of different items you can take into raids, and if you happen to lose them, someone else can go ahead and sell them. These items here you can even get for a better price than on the market, at least in some cases. When there's more supply of much more expensive items, it's gonna do some crazy things to the market, and nobody really knows what exactly yet, but it's surely not going to be good. As people are willing to spend more and more in real life money to buy in-game cash, they'll be willing to spend more on each different item in game, pushing up the price for everyone. And if you're not going to be spending real life cash on the in-game stuff, you're going to be grinding more and more for the same things, and it's just going to get worse and worse in the future, or at least that's the worst case scenario. There are different fees to try and prevent this kind of thing. If you want to sell some expensive ammo on the player market, for example, you can't crank this down to just $1 as there's a minimum price, and there's a fee that changes, not quite linearly, as the price gets more and more expensive. You'll be paying more to sell items for above their actual value, and there should be a ceiling somewhere that prevents players from going absolutely bonkers selling things for a crazy high amount. Yeah, there is a maximum price, and that's all decided by the developers. If I were to sell all of these, I'd spend $400,000 as a management fee to try and prevent people from spending so much in game, and I'd only earn $100 for my character. This seems to go up and up pretty much exponentially when you pass a certain point to try and prevent people from selling things for a crazy high price, but things are still going to change quite a bit. It is going to become more and more difficult to earn in-game cash and buy the same in-game items as whales start spending more and more money in-game, or at least that's the worst case scenario, and tinfoil hat theory, maybe that's why they haven't released the game on Steam just yet, as their own private platform doesn't have comments and things like that, whereas when it's on Steam, there's live play accounts, and there's live ratings that people can say what they like or don't like about the game. It should be releasing on Steam in about a week or two, but at least they have time to try and patch things or get them together. Personally, I think they should completely remove this in-game currency purchasability, as that's what everyone is complaining about, and it is going to do some crazy things, especially when these coins become active in-game. But let's quickly talk about the extra stuff that you can buy in-game that you may think is a little bit crazy. Essentially, if you were to purchase a game like Escape from Tarkov, you get a couple of extra things. The more money you spend on the game, the more inventory space you'll get, and the better secure container you'll get. This, being an extraction shooter, means that when you go into a raid and die, you lose everything. But everything that you have in your keychain over here, which holds those super expensive keys, and your secure container over here, everything that you have in these two bits of apparel will be kept with you no matter what, and nobody else can steal them. This reinforced case over here you can earn by doing different events in game, which is a 1x2. You can get a 2x2 or a 3x2 if you happen to spend actual real-life money. For example, you could spend $5 for a 2x2 secure container for 30 days, or $10 for a 3x2. Again, everything you put in these containers stays with you after you die, and it's pure profit, or at least for the in-game cash, that is. The same can be said about inventory expansion. You'll, just through playing the game, get some extra storage. Over here, I've unlocked 150 extra slots where all of my weapons are currently, and this has a 2D timer. This means 2 days are left until 150 slots just vanish from my inventory, and so do all of the items here. They'll be sent to my mail, where I'll need to accept them within a certain amount of time, and if I don't, which is probably in a week, the rest of those items will just vanish, and that's that. As you're playing the game, you'll likely unlock this trial over here. You'll throw a bunch of stuff in here, and as soon as you lose that space, you now have to compress all of these extra slots down into what you currently have, which usually isn't going to be a huge amount. This will make you want to spend some extra cash and try to buy this storage area back. You can buy it and you can expand your stash by getting VIP. If we check VIP here, the Elite over here allows us to spend just $5, and for 30 days we'll have an extra 150 slots in our inventory, as well as some extra things that we'll get to in a moment. But as you're playing the game, you can unlock permanent extra storage, which is great. I have 150 slots here just by completing the second or third mission for the medic over here, which just required you to extract with a bunch of in-game cash over and over until you earn yourself a storage expansion token. This can be used to expand your storage, and bam, you've got some pay-to-win storage for free, although you could always spend a bit of actual money in order to get some extra storage whenever you want. These two things are sort of features. On top of this keychain over here can be used to store 3 different keys for whatever map we're going to. You'll need to swap them out depending on what map or where you want to loot, etc. Or you could spend a little bit of money and get yourself a bigger one, or an even bigger one. This is just hilarious. A 3x5 keychain over here can keep probably every key in the game, and you never need to worry about if you can extract in a certain place or even plan ahead. This you can purchase for actual money, and for just, I think, $16 for 30 days, you'll get yourself this massive keychain over here, and it's a pay-to-win thing. Obviously, you're not going to lose any of these keys when you happen to perish in the in-game battlefield, but having some extra slots is great if you want to open up extra doors, get extra higher tier loot, etc, etc. Obviously, if you happen to die with that loot in game, other players can take it, and it'll just be spread into the economy that way. All of these things bring into mind balance questions that need to be addressed by the developers, as this is a mobile game that's been brought to PC, and with it, all of the mobile microtransactions have now been brought with it as well. If we quickly have a look at Escape from Tarkov, for example, which has some similar things, being just the secure container and the stash size, you can spend varying amounts of money from $50 to $250 to get different stash sizes and secure containers. Starting with the base game of $50, you get a 10x30 stash and a 2x2 container. So, the 2x2 container in Arena Breakout is just $5 a month. If you were to spend $50 on Tarkov, you keep your inventory and basic container forever. Whereas here, if you spend $50, you'll keep just this case over here for 10 months. If you want the inventory space as well, which only comes in one size currently, you can spend $10 a month and get both of these, and in just 5 months you would have paid for Escape from Tarkov, for example. The more you spend on Tarkov, the better stuff you get, so for an extra $32, 2, you get a bigger stash, and for an extra 60 above the base game, you get a bigger stash and a 3x2 container. So for $60 extra over the base game, you'll get this $10 a month secure container and of course the extra inventory space. Doing that in Arena Breakout is $5 plus $10, that's $15 a month for however long you decide to keep playing the game. To get to 110, that's just 10 months. Obviously, a lot of people are probably only going to be playing the game for a month or two, and the next half of the player base, probably maybe 6 months, and people will slowly drop off as time goes and more different games appear. That's true with any game, and if you don't see yourself playing more than a month or two, $15 isn't much for a great free-to-play experience. But if you're a fan and you're going to be playing this for much longer, you'll be spending more money and you'll be constantly tempted to purchase some in-game cash or some in-game items like a bigger keychain. Wouldn't it be great to have all of the keys in-game all the time? Well, you can spend $16 plus $5 plus $10 in order to get everything, and for this whole bundle, you can spend easily $31 a month, and well, hey, you can even not just pay to win, but you can pay to speak. This is probably one of the craziest things I've seen, but you can get 10 communicators. You can send a message in the World channel, where there are no free messages left. If we pull up the chat over here, there's a World channel, and we get to speak here for free, at least for a while. If we send a message like that and send it, we now have 19 free messages left, today at least. You can spend 20 American cents and get yourself another 10 messages here. So that's a thing. Anyways, this sort of mobile transaction economy is kind of worrying when it's being brought to PC, and it's been done in a few places like mobile ports that have come to PC. This is just one of the craziest ones, as we have direct competitors that are pay and keep forever versus a subscription free-to-play game. Obviously, free-to-play games are probably going to earn more money in the long run if they keep more people playing and paying every single month than a once-off and done situation. So it's great for the developers, but maybe not for the community, or at least the free-to-play players. I really do enjoy this game, and I super enjoyed the closed beta, so hopefully they decide to patch things and get things better, but nobody really knows. You can earn a lot of these things, like the extra inventory space. When you log in for multiple days a week, you'll get yourself a 3-day trial to the extra inventory space, which I currently have, or a 3-day trial to the 1x2 container. Geez, isn't that crazy? But these are just tasters to want you to buy more and spend more. So yeah, it's a mobile game on PC. What did you expect? Let me know in the comments down below if you'll be spending money on this game. Personally, I don't really want to spend too much money. I did enjoy it for many hours, and making content on the game, I did earn money back through YouTube ad revenue. They haven't paid me anything, and I'd really like to see this game succeed because I just enjoy it. It's great to have competitors to different games like Escape from Tarkov, but personally, I don't think pay to win is the way that things should be done. I'm fine paying for skins, I'm fine maybe paying for a secure container and extra inventory space, sure, but paying for extra slots on the market, you get an extra 300 items that you can list a week and 8 concurrent items that you can sell at once. So instead of selling 800 items a week, you can only sell 500 items a week, and that's going to go by pretty quickly. I sold 50 in just an afternoon, and I still have a ton more stuff to sell to earn some in-game cash. The rates that you get on the market are obviously better than selling to the vendors for a loss in most cases. And if you need to clear out your inventory, you're probably going to be going through these relatively quickly. That is to say that things could obviously be worse than they are now, surprisingly. Call of Duty, for example, is a game that I loved. It was great. I really enjoyed DMZ until they took it out back and got rid of it. But they started introducing pay-to-win skins. You can spend real-life money and you can get yourself a free UAV every game so you can see people around you. This happens every time you load into the map. In Arena Breakout, at least you can pay to get some crazy stuff. You can lose it and it goes to someone else if you just happen to be snoozing or aren't that good. It gets even worse. In Call of Duty, you can buy a skin that if you buy it and a friend buys it and you queue up together, you both get double XP and double weapon XP. If you happen to sell it to a third person, then all 3 of you or more will also get double Battle Pass XP. Battle Passes haven't arrived in Arena Breakout Infinite just yet, but they could. Who knows? There aren't any crazy skins that you can equip, nothing like that just yet, but that may be coming in the future as well. Personally, I'd like to see a lot more free-to-earn things like extra permanent inventory space and things like that. I guess you can earn a couple of them already, but things like the secure container, the bigger keychain, I don't think you can get for free. You can get this normal keychain over here just by completing missions, but the massive one over here is just, it's hilariously sized. And the secure container, well, you can only get trials of this over and over again, and if it expires, well, why don't you just spend some money? So yeah, there's that. This is the third time I've recorded this video and it's still horrendously long. I'm going to end it here. Do let me know down in the comments below what you think of this entire situation, and if you're going to be spending any money on Arena Breakout Infinite. And of course, I don't usually cover drama or anything like that, but I've really enjoyed this game and I'd love to see it succeed. And of course, I'm curious about what you think as well. So anyways, that's that. My name's been Troubleshoot. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao.